Lightning is not the only layer 2 platform you can conceive of. You can get another crypto network could be a layer 2 platform. In theory, you could spin up a proof of stake network and you could stake it with Bitcoin, because making the layer 1 twice as fast or 3 times as fast or 10 times as fast or 100 times fast, it doesn't get you to 1,000,000 times as fast. So Lightning is an obvious layer 2, and the simple design idea is I create a channel with 1,000,000 times less Bitcoin in it, and I move it 1,000,000 times faster. I mean, and there are other approaches, of course, but if we give up, you can give up all of the proof of work because you don't have as much at stake. And you're creating a staked network, but you're staking it with an external asset that derives its value from external assets external to it. Energy capital and political capital and technical capital are flowing into Bitcoin capital, and Bitcoin capital is then flowing into the Lightning Network in order to secure it. So once you get that idea, you realize that a layer 1, layer 2 solution is a lot better idea than a higher performance layer 1 solution, because making the layer 1 twice as fast or 3 times as fast or 10 times as fast or 100 times fast, it doesn't get you to 1,000,000 times as fast. And what you're doing is, it's no different than the common sense way that human beings solve every problem. If you had $1,000,000 in the bank and you were going out on a Saturday night and you needed to spend money quickly, you would take $100 in cash and you would break it into $25 bills. You put it in your wallet and you would rest assured that you can't lose more than $100, and you would leave the rest of the money locked up in the bank. And the money in the bank takes 48 hours to get at and takes lots of degrees of authentication. Is behind 3 feet of steel, and the money in your wallet, is in your front pocket, and it takes 1 second to get at. And, occasionally you drop a $5 bill on the floor when you're drunk, and the life goes on. And if somebody said you had to take the entire $1,000,000 with you out to a nightclub every Saturday night, you would say, that's pretty stupid. And if they said, well, the bank vault doors, they're too heavy, we're just going to have to re-engineer them to make them 1,000 times lighter so that you can open the bank vault doors faster so that you can access the $1,000,000 on Saturday night while you're drinking. Maybe it's not such a good idea to have that many transactions on the base layer, because every single moving part is just something to break. So the layer 2 platform is this idea that what I want to do is I want to create a cache, if you will, of a much smaller amount of value that I have, that is much less at risk, that I can afford to move much quicker, and I don't need the same degree of security on it. And Lightning is not the only layer 2 platform you can conceive of. You can get another crypto network could be a layer 2 platform. In theory, you could spin up a proof of stake network and you could stake it with Bitcoin, and it wouldn't be a theoretically different thing. If you spin up, you can also spin up a crypto network proof of stake, and then you can move Bitcoin through it. But if you're using the native token and moving Bitcoin, then your Bitcoin's only as secure as the native token. And that's a problem. Ultimately, the real issue with layer 2s is you're moving a portion of value into that layer 2, trusting the layer 2 in order to get performance or functionality.
Exactly.
So you can do it. You can do it with Lightning, and the logical thing you do is you stake with Bitcoin, and then you reduce the risk to the channel liquidity. That's a way to do it. Is like to build some kind of system, like maybe if I was in an exchange and I had Bitcoin on the exchange, and I created an API to the exchange that was programmable, then in a way, the exchange is holding the Bitcoin. The API is providing you with a very fast speed. Now you've taken a different risk. You've taken exchange risk, which is some counterparty risk of some sort. If you use a Paxos or a NYDIG platform, those are kind of more conventional platforms to build applications on top of. Like NYDIG has a platform for you to build a credit card plugged into Bitcoin, and Paxos is a platform, plugged into PayPal, to their application. And so if you want that kind of platform, you plug a mobile application into one of those platforms. There is some risk with that counterparty.
Yep.
It is limited to the amount of Bitcoin you're handling on the platform, and you can do all sorts of things to mitigate the risk. But clearly, there is a need for layer 2 platforms, and there isn't a need for just one layer 2 platform. Like Lightning is a compelling decentralized, layer 2 platform because it's decentralized. But there are a lot of layer 2 platforms that'll be centralized because they need to be regulated in order to meet with regulatory compliance obligations.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of counterparties. Like a credit card company might prefer to work with a centralized layer 2 than a decentralized layer 2 because they have regulatory constraints of their own.